Hey everybody, how you doing? It's a short Saturday live stream vlog about Clarence Thomas. That was the first time I ever talked about him. But Thomas is at the center of the Supreme Court's recent decision to overturn Roe versus Wade, which is still shocking a lot of folks, including me. But he was the only judge to basically then point at same-sex marriage to be another target for challenge by the Supreme Court, a reconsideration, as they call it. Reconsideration. And there are other people who are saying, well, why don't you go after... Let me tweet this out real quick. Hold on a second, folks. Okay, and there are others who are saying, I think it was John Cornyn, the Texas senator, saying next they'll be going after Brown versus the Board of Education. Then someone else said interracial marriage. Basically, what Clarence Thomas has done is open up the floodgates for consideration of laws that are not white male centric. And I started to think, well, why is he doing this? He is black. And this has nothing to do with the fact that Clarence Thomas' wife is white. Most of my girlfriends have been white, okay? So that's what happens when you have a lot of black. When you're a black guy, you have a lot of white male friends. You meet their friends, and you're all into Star Trek and things like that, okay? Whatever. No, I ask this. I ask, is Clarence Thomas a black-white supremacist because of his latest comments and the moves that he's made? And I think it's a fair question. What is a black-white supremacist? In my view, it's someone who looks at life and black people, even though they're black, as if they were white. Like, hey, you don't belong here, or you need to mourn your peace, or you need to stop wanting to be in a place that you don't belong, okay? That's the thinking of a black-white supremacist. And if you research Clarence Thomas' background, there is some, reason to think that is the case, because as I understood it, he came up as, well, someone described him as a black nationalist. I don't like that term, because a black nationalist, if you start looking at the people that white people call black nationalists, they're not really nationalists. They don't hate anybody white. They just simply believe that, black folks should be self-determining. They're not separatist. But they simply are, when it comes to who they are as a black person, they don't seek a message from a center that's white, okay? And so that was how Clarence Thomas reportedly was at one point. And I argue, really, he still is. Now, I've read that's the case. And so for those who would say, well, why is his wife white? If he's a black nationalist, my retort is, you don't understand what it means to be a black nationalist. Because some people look at black nationalism from the lens of white nationalism, and they don't get it. That's not it at all. That's not what's going on, okay? So, but Clarence Thomas also pointed to something that I've dealt with, which is, hey, hatred from his own folks who don't like him because in his case he was the blackest black person there was, or in my case because I talk like somebody white. And when you go through with that experience, it is easy to not want to be in the world That is all black, because you're so used to being violated by your own people for being who you are. All right? So do I think some of what Clarence Thomas is doing, his involvement, comes from that? After reflection, I do. And it's very sad, okay? It's very sad. He's not Thurgood Marshall. He is the anti-Thurgood Marshall. He's not the person that you're going to look to for social reform to make life better for people who look like me. Instead, what he's done arguably is the reverse, all right? And he made it, but he was lucky. And then he goes out and he tells the best and the brightest who are black in Washington, hey, maybe you shouldn't go to an Ivy League school because you're not going to swim if you're not used to being around white people. Well, here's the thing. At some point, you got to get used to it. That has not been my problem, all right? But there is a set of expectations you have as a black person that are not met, and you turn around in life, you realize that a lot of the reasons do come down to race. Then you have to ask the question, what are you going to do? Do you get pissed off? Of course you get pissed off. Do you get even or revenge? No, it's not a good way of looking at it. You simply figure out the next way. But the one thing you do is you gain friends that you can trust. And maybe, I think Thomas has done that in his wife. I'm going to come back to this because I got to go back inside, but I want to get the ball rolling on this. I'm also going to make a comment vlog on some of the ridiculous and stupid comments I've heard in different videos, and the good ones too. All right, subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark localnewsnowblog.com. I'll see you.